Hermaphrodite, homosexual, eunuch, it. These were all names she's been called. Sonia, my transgender client, was sitting in my movement therapy session and screams out, "God, why did you make me this way?" Sonia is a part of the Hijra community, a South Asian phenomenon best described in Western terminology as transgenders. Beautifully clad in saris, but with male-like features, Hijras in India are commonly seen at traffic lights, approaching car windows with their signature clap to get your attention. They ask for money in exchange for blessings. Hijras have been highly ostracized by mainstream society and are deprived of basic human and civil rights, despite a recent Indian law that recognizes this third gender. As an Indian American who visited India throughout my life, I was always told to stay away from the Hijras. They'll put curses upon you. They kidnap children and castrate them. Stay away. So much myth-based advice was offered to me without people really understanding the ancient history, unique culture, and complex society of the Hijras. I've been living in India for 5 years now and recently had the opportunity to work with this group in New Delhi. A colleague of mine and I had been discussing people who utilize dance or movement regularly in their livelihoods, which brought us to a conversation about Hijras and how fascinating it would be for us to introduce dance movement therapy, as we know it, to a group within this community. So we approached a large NGO that had been working on HIV prevention with them, and that's how we got started. By researching the plight of the Hijra community and directly speaking to each client about their personal experiences, I became sensitized to the many issues Hijras deal with and was able to plan my movement therapy sessions in order to achieve certain objectives. We started our work with the group, and during the first many sessions, we witnessed deep anger and sorrow. I spoke to a few of my clients, and they reiterated that they frequently confront these feelings and would like to explore them. So in the next session, I asked Sonia and her peers to express anger and sorrow through their faces. Unfortunately, I didn't have much luck to begin with. Sonia was blank. She was expressionless. So then I asked them to use movement and their bodies to express. And Sonia started to move in tiny, repetitive, almost choreographed movements, but she was still in her comfort zone. We then added voice, and after a few minutes, Sonia started to whisper some words. She had been suppressing her emotions for so many years in order to survive that she'd become numb. But as she was given a safe space and time to go deeper, Sonia got in touch with the reality she's not usually willing to face, that although she identifies with being a Hijra, her life is complicated, unjust, and unwieldy. Her sounds became louder, her face scrunched up, her body tightened up, and she started to pound her fists on the floor, moving back and forth on the balls of her feet as she looked up at God and started yelling. I felt a bulge in my throat, which traveled down to my stomach in a knot and released itself in a deep sigh of relief as she expressed all that was pent up. After the activity was over, Sonia made her way to the group circle for verbal processing. She sat upright, legs crossed, arms relaxed, softly starting to describe the strong connection she had just experienced between her mind, body, and emotions. For the first time, Sonia wasn't judged. For the first time, she was given the freedom to be, and a catharsis had taken place in that room. Sonia was alive, light, and peaceful. She left the room transformed. Surprisingly, so did I.